Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. This is Ghazala Amin for PRM700 with lecture number 9. Hopefully you got the enough material from advertisement perspective of some of the associations, and that is just on the humored note of it, but talking more about the employment opportunities that exist out there in the market in the field of project management, the associations that are out there, the books, the publications, the authored papers that are out there on the website available free of cost and sometime to be purchased, available for people who are educated or getting educated in the field of project management. Invaluable material that is out there in the market. Another thing that we talked about in the initial phases of project presentation number 8 was how to tackle the MCQs. I would have liked if you would have gone out and gotten some relevant MCQs related to project management and started trying to solve some of those. There are plenty more out there for you to understand, to get your hands on and practice. Practice makes a person perfect. Project management training resources on CDs and DVDs. The training resources, along with the books and the publications and the papers that are out there. There are a lot of CDs and DVDs in the world of project management that are also out there for you to get, acquire and learn. The CBT Planet. The CBT Planet offers 9 project management training CDs. The courses covers the areas of IT, the leadership, also PMP certification, management and project management applications in government and the pharmaceutical industry. The CBT being the computer-based training. The Biz Hotline. The Biz Hotline offers 11 project management training CDs covering areas which include project scope, communications, quality, standards, risk and time management, cost estimating, and team making. The project management training resources, the CD and the DVD. The Learn Key offers 3 comprehensive project management training CDs. The Project Management Professional, Microsoft Project 2003, 2007, 2010. The NetWind offers a project management certification training course on 5 CDs. Again, lot out there. In most of these books, I know the Harold Kerzner book, that is also one of the reference material as part of your course books. Also has a Microsoft Project CD inserted in the sleeve. It's given to you when you purchase the book. The Project Management Training Resource, the CDs and the DVDs. Project Management Consultants. The Specialist in Global Project Management, the world becoming globalized, the world becoming a smaller place. This company offers a training CD, project management tools and techniques, which looks at the project management methods, the planning and objectives, the work breakdown structure, project scheduling and baseline of the budget, project organization and staffing, project reporting and controlling, and project risk management. Some of these terms should be ringing your ears because they are also summarizing the concepts that have been given to you over the past few lectures. The Project Management Technologies Incorporate. They presently offer 2 training CDs from its project planning and program control series. It's a 45-hour tutorial CD. 45-hour tutorial CD, that's a long time, on project planning and control processes. And if I can just make a little bit of a reference and some of the or summary of what I talked about, the project planning is a major bulk of a project manager's life in a project. So spending more time kind of gives you a comfort level that you have planned it well enough so that when it goes into the execution phase, you will have lesser to deal with or lesser issues in the conflicts to deal with, but that's not a guarantee. However, it does give you that comfort level. And a 25-hour tutorial CD on integrated master scheduling. More training CDs will be available in obviously this year and going forward. Get ahead. The British company offers 3 interactive training CDs of total 15 hours duration and comprising of self-contained units of approximately 15 minutes duration each. Major topic areas covered are organizing projects, planning projects, and controlling projects. Extensive use is made of case studies. Reading and understanding case studies gives you a comfort level of what went wrong and what went right, how to avoid certain situations, and it's a phenomenal growth in academia of using case studies in education and educating professionals. Focus on Management. Focus on Management offers a training course on CD along with written material which is aimed at preparing students for the Prince 2 certification examination. Again, remember Prince 2 being very similar to the PMI association, and Prince 2 is more recognized in the European subcontinent or European areas. MS Project 3, the 7 training CDs, lynda.com. Lynda.com is a leader in online software education, offering a 4-hour comprehensive video and audio training CD on Microsoft Project 2007, 10, so on and so forth. The Virtual Training Company. The Virtual Training Company offers a 6-hour comprehensive video audio training CD on Microsoft Project, as well as older training CDs on some of the older versions. While the internet is full of reference material, reading material, published material, papers, patterns, case studies, what went right, what went wrong, risks, issues, conflict, human resource management. It's an explosion of reference material along with explosion of reference material from reading perspective. There are lots of material out there on TV and media also. Some of the TV documentaries on projects. There are TV documentaries on major projects of the world. A number of interesting and insightful television documentary series have been filmed about large and complex projects in construction and engineering which have been undertaken across the globe. These can be viewed on popular cable television channels such as National Geographic, Discovery, and History channels. Recently, I saw this documentary on Taj Mahal. Again, if Taj Mahal was a project, an insightful documentary on what initiated the concept, how did they get the resources, how did they retain those resources, how families of those artisans were brought in and kept on the payroll for years and years, for generations, to continue to work on that particular project. And then abundance of material resources, abundance of resources, man resources, the material and the machine that was used and acquired to continue to build a wonder that is called Taj Mahal. The TV documentary series, The Mega Structures. Most of us have seen this, but now after learning the techniques and the phases of the project management, the initiation, the planning, the monitoring and control while the execution is going on, and the closing phase, you will start looking at some of these documentaries in a different light. You will start looking at some of the team building techniques that are being adopted or that were adopted to create some of those structures, the issues, and how did we come across, how did we resolve some of those issues, the teamwork, to acquire the right skill set, how to retain some of those skill sets. More than 50 episodes of the documentary series Mega Structures have been produced and broadcasted since 2004, and still it's a wonderful experience seeing some of those episodes. And it was done by National Geographic, Channel 5 UK and France 5. And still it's out there in the market to be purchased, viewed, reviewed, understood, critiqued, and more learning and education from it. The TV documentary series Extreme Engineering. For some of us as engineering professionals, we loved and enjoyed the thrill of extreme engineering, of how some of those mega structures are built, the subways, those bridges, the larger than life. You actually take a virtual tour of mechanical feats and amazing constructions. That was a TV documentary broadcast by the Discovery Channel and the Science Channel. 6 seasons were aired, and there may be more. Another TV documentary series that really gives you thrills, especially with the awareness of what project management is all about, and with that relevant mindset. If you see Modern Marvels, which is a TV documentary series shown on the History Channel, you start enjoying it in a different light. Over 520 episodes have been produced of the series, which was first broadcast in January of 1995. Years ago. And it still thrills you, especially after looking at it with the light of education that you have been exposed to within the field of project management. Project management certification and some of the degree programs that are being offered across the globe. One of the films, before we move on, one of the films that actually captured my attention and has been out there, I've seen it several times, and every time I see it, I appreciate different aspects of project management of that film. It's the Armageddon. It's been pronounced differently, so I'm going to spell it out for you to actually go try to see and watch and enjoy it. Armageddon. And if I'm correct, it's a Bruce Willis movie. Every time you watch that movie, you think of different aspects of project management. How to bring diverse team, how to bring them about, the motivation, the resolving of conflicts, prioritizing the project priorities so that everybody is working towards the same goal, the sacrifices, the team contribution, the team building skills that are being used, the techniques, the technical expertise, the objective and the subjective criteria of judgment, and many other things, all very relevant to a successful project. And a project manager, again, being that juggler that juggles with all those concepts at variant levels at different times. And the project priority and the project manager's priority is clear for to ensure the success of a particular project, to meet and exceed the demands and the needs of the stakeholders. Having said that, let's move on, the project management certification and the degree programs. Project management education. Business schools, colleges, and universities across the globe have adopted project management as an integral and mandatory subject, or as a field of specialization in their undergraduate or graduate degree programs. Many educational institutions offer online and on-campus master programs and doctoral programs in project management. You will see a lot of master programs out there, but even to this date, very few doctoral programs are being offered by reputable universities. A large number of educational institutions and commercial organizations offer short-term project management professional certification courses. The CDs and DVDs and the World Wide Web, the WWW, are increasingly being used for teaching project management. Conferences, congresses, seminars, symposia, workshops, and other event activities on project management themes are regularly being organized throughout the world by academics, consultants, professional project management associations, and other institutions. If you look at any newspaper, especially the Sunday newspaper, you will come across at least 3 or 4 organizations or institutes offering project management training on different knowledge areas. Some offering to educate you to become some particular industry certified, some training you on some of the software that are available in the market, some working on the soft skills of management and leadership, some working on the soft skill plus not so soft of skills, maybe in risk management, of how to identify and how to mitigate risks, and plenty others. These are 2-day courses, over the weekend courses, evening programs, 1 semester long programs, a degree program, a professional degree program, maybe 1 year, 2 years. Then you have master's program, MS, Master of Science. Then you have certifications, training. You have now opportunities to actually pursue PhD in project management through the Department of Management Sciences or through the Department of Engineering. Something very close to project management would also be the engineering management courses that are being offered. However, whatever it is, it's all in the relevant field of understanding that project management needs to be explored, and there are a lot of opportunities out there for you and for me. Certification and preparation courses. These are just a very brief example very small sample of what is out there in the market. These are some of the institutes that are offering certification and preparation courses. And these are more international organizations. If you see Zabist in between, you see AMCI, the Atlantic Management Center Incorporated, Global Knowledge, the Regis University, the IIL, International Institute for Learning, extremely important organization with a lot of material out there. They have CDs, DVDs, online prep courses, very reputable. Executive education, the 4 p.m., RMC project management, the innovator in project management, tricks of the trade products and courses since 1991. Then there's a PMP exam prep online, the project management training online, the Villanova University, ESI, another reputable name, the University of Berkeley Extension, the College of Technology, that's the University of Houston, remote course, your e-learning source. So a lot of certification and preparation courses out there. You can look at any one of them. If you have access to online presentation, you can actually click on some of these and it will take you to the relevant website. Then the online degree programs. Since early 1990s, other than just offering courses as part of some other program in project management, universities and institutes started seeing so much interest in project management that they started adopting more of master's degree program and the professional degree program exclusively in the field of project management. And you're sitting there understanding and listening to me is also part of that awareness. And you are at this point in time the innovator. It hasn't been out there for that long. The ITT, the Technical Institute, the Regis University, the Colorado Technical University Online, the Penn State World Campus, the American University, the Western Carolina University. These are some very reputable, good universities out there that have started providing the online degree programs. And the ComSat's MSPM, the virtual offering, is part of that campaign of providing most of this relevant education in the field of project management to a good number of audience, to have more and make the most of the project management education and make it available to as many as easily as possible. On-campus master degree programs, again, if you just look at the North America, and again this number will be growing multiple times, the project management at the University du Quebec, the Southern New Hampshire University, the University of Calgary, the project management, these are basically in, these are the Canadian universities. University of Maryland, very, very reputable university near Washington, DC, having a good online degree program on campus, has actually trained some of our doctors in postdoctoral research studies. University of San Francisco, the George Washington University, Eastern Michigan University, Western Carolina University, the University of Management and Technology. These are the on-campus master degree program and varies between a 1 year to a year and a half, about 18-month long program in North American region. The on-campus master degree programs, United Kingdom and the Irish Republic. The University of Portsmouth, London South Bank University, the Queen Mary University of London, the Lancaster University Management School. Lancaster also has associations with ComSats, the Lahore campus. More in the United Kingdom and the Irish Republic. And one of the key ones are the Waterford Institute of Technology and the University of Greenwich, and obviously each one of them have a very relevant and a very reputable space of providing good graduates, good learned, educated professionals in the market and in the corporate sector of Europe. The mainland Europe, a lot of MBA programs have started providing project management master degree program. For example, the MBA program, the Faculty of Management Economics, the WU Executive Academy, the Euro MPM, European Master in Project Management, ESC Lilly, the KTH, and the CAS. Asia is also slowly and gradually coming up and trying to reach the same number of offerings by different institutes. University Sains Malaysia, the Hong Kong Polytechnic University, Asian Institute of Technology Center in Vietnam is out there. There's some in the Middle East. The British University in Dubai, Institute of Management Technology. The SP Jain Center of Management, Dubai and Singapore. Zabist has its own Dubai campus. Why would Africa and the Caribbean stand behind? Lots of university, the University of Mauritius also offering some of the master degree programs now, including many the University of Cape Town, the South African University. Faculty of Social Sciences, and many others. Australia and New Zealand is another where you see this volcano erupting. They are offering lots of programs out there in project management, in doctoral studies, research, publications. The MPM, the online, the professional certifications, more for the corporate sector, tuning and turning and training. And then on the other side of it, providing more and more education for the field, for the academia, the research publications that are coming up. Australia and New Zealand are another area where there's a lot of movement going on in the field of project management. And then there are the on-campus master degree programs and training in Pakistan. ComSats, Institute of Technology, the Islamabad campus, was the pioneer in offering MPM program, and it started in fall of 2008. Being the pioneer, we have several faculty, the course content that has gone through rigorous updates, content modifications, liaisons with the industry, the MOUs with the PMI chapters, guest speakers, corporate involvement, research opportunities that have come up through ComSat's Islamabad campus, the project management department. And we are offering project management certifications and MS in project management through the Department of Management Sciences. Our ComSat Islamabad campus took the lead, and now MSPM is being also offered in Lahore campus and Ahmedabad campus, and now the virtual offering of MSPM program. Being a leader in providing evening program for professionals, there are other institutes also. the Preston University now, the Zabist, the Abbasine University, preparing for the future. We also have CASE, I think it's ICRA, RIFA, many other universities and institutes following suit. But some may debate that there's a saturation of professionals in the market. I say otherwise. Project management education is relevant and can be made relevant into every field of management. And if you look at the employment opportunities that exist out there, there is no lack of employment opportunities for all these professionals that are coming up. More project management educated professionals out there in the market, better understanding of how to maximize resources and how to make the most of what is given to us, and to successfully lead your projects towards success. That motivation, that aim, is the highlight of any project management professional. And more that fire in us, more that passion in us, the better it is, not just for the industry but for the world. These are again some of the on-campus master programs that are out there. What about other project management resources on the internet? We talked about plenty out there, and there is no end of resources. We talked about the newspaper with employment opportunities. We talked about the CBTs, the computer-based training, the CDs and the DVDs, the online training programs, the on-campus training programs, the professional training, 2-day, few hours over the weekend, 6 months, MS degree programs, PhD opportunities, documentaries highlighting achievements, the marvels, the movie industry taking the lead, going out, making more, and plenty other opportunities, resources. There's no dearth of it. So project management on the internet. There's a huge number of websites providing a wealth of project management resources, and only a very small sample is given below. And what I don't want you to feel is being overwhelmed right now with the information that is given to you. But understand that you are not a loner out there. The whole world is actually on the run to make the most of this education. The PM Forum, the Project Connections, Projects at Work, try getting more into it. Chief Project Officer, the PM Boulevard, allpm.com, and it's called the Project Manager's homepage, the projectsmart.co.uk, and continue to name several more, but again, the idea is not to overwhelm you at this point in time. The Project Management Insights in the Exchange. Cornell University has its own project management information on website. The New York State, the West Virginia University Project Monitor, that is the India's first newspaper on projects. The Mosaic, the Project Services Limited. The Princeton University, the Stanford University, all the Ivy Leagues, all the big name brand universities of the USA are following suit, and they are actually on the run to make the most of the project management world, given the most information or more information to the public and make use of what is available. US Department of Energy. And the reason why it has the center space is, think about it. Which departments, which organizations and which industries have learned to make the most of project management or are considered on the epitome of project management? We are living in a world of depleting resources. I've used this sentence several times over the past few lectures and continue to use that. We continuously in Pakistan see our resources getting minimized and almost to getting extinct. How to make the best use of the possible resources? And you see the US Department of Energy having its own website, having its own information. The load shedding, the shortage of CNGs, lack of projects, lack of vision out there, all are leading us to the realization that we should have done something sooner. And if not, if we did not do our homework, this is the time to actually buckle up and start thinking more in the future of not just ourselves but of our children also and of our nation. So in pursuit of doing that, more and more project management professionals are welcome to join us in this league. Not just the energy organizations, not just the defense organization, some of the project finance institutions, several regional and international financial institutions are offering public access on their websites to reports and publication concerning projects financed by them. So you actually have access to some of those case studies. You have access to looking at some of the material that is out there. The World Bank, they have provided the public access to some of the bigger projects that they're working on. The ADP, the North American Development Bank, the African Development Bank Group, the Caribbean Development Bank, the European Investment Bank, the Inter-American Development Bank. These are some of the major leading institutes that are giving you an insight into how they're doing projects, what's the progress is about, and providing you excellent reading material as case studies of things that have gone right or things that could have been done better or things that did not go as well as planned. Joining the race are the NGOs. Most international development institutions also offer public access on their websites to detailed information material on projects implemented by them. NGOs are not typically designed for having tangible deliverables. So why the change now? Being in the Islamabad region and then continuously moving within Pakistan, the NGOs are fast adopting the world of project management and are actually looking out for project management educated professionals. And the reason is making the most of the resources to effectively and efficiently implement ideas, products, services in the social development sector. USAID has a lot of information on their website, and they have very stringent policies and practices that need to be adhered to, need to be followed and practiced. If you're following any of their, or if you're working on any of their projects, or if you want to pursue projects within this organization. The European Commission, the external cooperation programs, also has a lot of material on their website. the GTZ, the NZ-Aid, the NORAD, the Australian government, the AusAid, the Department for International Development, the DFID, the GTZ, the Japan International Cooperation Agency, each one of them have their websites where they have listing of projects that are going on, and if there are opportunities out there for you to actually pursue some of that market, and it's all a click away. Some of the international organizations, the WHO, the World Health Organization, and the Global Environment Facility. Again, some of the international organizations that are out there and have key contacts in Pakistan, if you as a professional interested in pursuing some of those activities. It's not just the academia, it's not just the employment opportunities in these work. I think a lot of research institutions in project management is also going on. If you're interested in any one of those, the Collaborative for Research on Global Project at Stanford University, the International Rivers, the People, Water, Life, the World Commission of Dams, all are out there just a click away. So, food for thought. You have learned that the internet is a vast repository of freely available general as well as specialized information and knowledge on project management. Can you think of any website which you think deserve to be included in this presentation? Feel free to contact us and give us more information. But more than that, this is just a knock on the door for you to tap in and think of and spend some of your energy and time on going out and looking at the material that is available on the internet for you. The world has a lot of opportunities for you as a project manager or for somebody who's pursuing the field of project management education. Make the most of it. Be a learned professional. Be an educated professional. Have that passion, that fire in you that makes you the best in whatever field that you work in. And I wish you the best. I will spend some time on reviewing a couple of documents that will come in handy. I have an example template of project charter and a project proposal. Just take a look at it so that you have an understanding of what are some of the content, from content perspective, some of the information that is contained in a project charter. Let's look at something that we talked about in some of the previous slides and lectures. The initiation phase has one important tangible piece of document which is called the project charter. Project charter has various forms. Some of the more relevant and important content of a project charter can be understood by some of the better charters that are out there in the on the website available for you to browse. What I have done is I have taken one of the better examples for your understanding and for your review. This is a very detailed project charter. Not that some of the project charters that you will be working on will be as detailed as this particular one, but it is always a good resource for you to understand what a charter should comprise of and what should be the main headings and the main titles within the project charter document. Let's look at this particular project charter which has been provided to you as part of the course material. And again, use this as just a template or just for your own understanding and education. The cover page of this particular charter document, if you notice, went on over several modifications by different people or different resources. A good practice is to use source save, or if you're making modifications and updates to a document, a formal document, is to add a version, the revision date, the revision contents or comments, and then the author's name every time an update or modification is made into a business document. The table of content. If you look at the table of content, it gives you a high-level idea of what a project charter document should contain. It should always have something called an executive summary. The subtitles within it can actually be deleted or omitted if needed. However, executive summary should always exist to summarize the main reason for undertaking that particular project. The implementation strategy and the approach, the project organization, the team structure, the chain, the physical location of the team, the roles and responsibilities. A good idea would be to ensure that within the project organization, you have two organizational structure. Your own project organization structure in there, the customer's organization structure, along with titles, roles and responsibility, and some kind of a contact information. So the team later on has an understanding of who to contact when needed and who can be approached when there is an issue with the project or a clarity is needed. The project scope, the organization scope, the process scope, and the technical scope. Another important content that should always be part of the charter is your project strategy. Whatever the strategy is, from quality, from security strategy, from end user training strategy, from organizational and management strategy perspective, whatever strategies you have should be added as part of this project group, or it should be added as part of this title. Moving on, another important thing is your project standards and procedures. There are several templates that exist. If you have a methodology and if you're following a methodology, those are some of the things that can be borrowed or should be borrowed from the main repository with an understanding that the customer wants us to use certain templates for handling risks, for handling issues, for handling changes, or creating and maintaining a status report or status reports. Within those standards and procedures, there is a place to hold information like communication management procedure, the risk management plan, the status reporting procedure agreed upon between the customer and your own project organization, your project meeting procedure, the documentation standards, very important, the standard tool and resources, issue management plan, the scope management plan, the planning and monitoring procedures, and very importantly, the quality assurance standards. Again, the important area will be the table of figures. Make sure all the table of figures or the figures are stored in this area with reference up front in the table of contents. It's a huge document, so don't get overwhelmed by the number of pages that are in there. It's a huge project, or it was a huge project with hundreds of resources working on it over different periods of time, part-time or full-time. Under the executive summary, they have subgrouping of introduction, introducing why is the need to undertake such a project, what's the benefit of it, the project overview, the project objectives are clearly laid out. And remember, this is the initial document. Charter is an initial document that gives the project organization and the customer an opportunity to share and provide the right information and do a little handshake to ensure that both of them have the same mindset of pursuing on the product or the service that is required through the implementation of that particular project. Charter also gives the project manager an opportunity and the authority to allocate future resources or to assign resources. The project objectives and the project benefits. An important thing is also identified in the project charter, which should always be part of any project charter, whether small or big, whether it's a 4-page long project charter or an 87 pages long project charter, are identifying your critical success factors. Some of the technical or some of the functional or general critical success factors to identify whether your project is going on the right track. Also identifying milestones that identifies whether the project is on the right track or not. Under the implementation strategy, this will be a place to put your thought process as a project manager, and again getting the thought process of the customer of what they would like to see while execution of the project is going on. The implementation schedule and goals at a very high level. Remember, the more important thing to remember at this point in time is that none of the planning has happened. This is only the information that is being provided to you by the customer, and some of the interviews and the meetings that you have had as a project organization with the customer and their members. Grabbing and then feeding on some of the more reliable tools, techniques, procedures of your own project organization to this charter will identify a mutual understanding between the project organization and the customer organization. Within your charter, you should also have some kind of a proposed training timing. A high-level timeline can actually be put together. At this point in time, no detailed work breakdown structure has been made. However, you and your organization, with the minimal amount of work and effort that has been spent, basically getting more of the customer's point of view, you can put together what the major milestones will be, and again put it up for debate whether the initial timeline is even acceptable or not. The implementation methodology, any project management methodology that you're using, can also be put in at this point in time. The organization structure, the team structure, it's very important, and I'll reiterate that the project organization structure and the customer organization structure both need to be part of this heading. The staffing requirement, again, if there's information about can we take some of the project organization borrow some technical resources from the customer organization for the life of the project to serve as technical consultants. That is another opportunity that needs to be discussed as part of the project charter. The physical location is also important. The co-location is an important concept. Does the customer require the project team members to be located in one place so that they are easily accessible? And is a physical location made available by the customer or the project organization? Are they all in this one building, or are they all located in one big hallway or big room? What's the proximity of or having access to some of those project resources? That understanding needs to be debated, documented, confirmed and signed upon in the charter phase or the initiation phase. The finances would be an important area or an important grouping for all the finance discussions that are going on at a very, very high level. Then the roles and responsibilities. The project manager, who's the project sponsor? It would be ideal if we can actually put in a name along with a definition of our understanding. Maybe what our understanding of a project sponsor is very different from what the project sponsor is from what the customer is thinking of a project sponsor should be. How frequently should be our meetings? Which project manager, if we have subcontractors, what would be their roles? What would be their point of contacts? The subcontractors should not have access to some of my team members. That kind of discussion, rules and regulations should be part of the charter document. Again, subject matter expert, the SME. When will we be bringing in? Who will be responsible for bringing in the subject matter expert? Are the auditors considered part of the subject matter expert? Consultants, will they come in? How will they work? How will they be moving on? How will they be paid? Would that be paid through the project organization, or the customer will be bringing them on time-to-time basis and they will be paid outside of the budget within the project organization? Each of those roles, to the best of the understanding at that point in time, is made part of the charter document. An important part of the charter document is also the end user training. How will we be doing it? How will those end users be identified? What will be the data that will be used for creating some of those test cases? And I'm talking more from the IT world that I've been exposed to. Your experiences and your approach may be very different from some of the concepts and the lingo that I'm using. But again, this is the charter that was developed between the University of Cincinnati and the IBM for creating some of their IT situations. So your experiences of creating a project charter would be different. However, the contents may vary, but the titles or the headings will stay the same. The relevant information may change, but the headers and the subtitle will stay the same. The organizational scope, that is very, very important. And then if you go down, you keep going down and you see more and more of relevant information, but some are very detailed. And it also depends on the customer who's bringing in the project. They may be very ready and they have very clear ideas in their head to exactly what they need from you. The situation may vary. If the customer comes in with very vague ideas of the product that is demanded, however, you at that point in time will assess and estimate more time in planning if the customer demands that off of you, right? So let's go down. If we are actually going down, these are very detailed information out there for project strategies, the detailed approach, the transaction integration, the testing strategy. For quality in the IT world, The IT world has a lot of information out there for testing strategies, and they're all very relevant, they're all very important. And all that, if you already have all that written up, or you have used some of those strategies as part of your projects that have been undertaken by your organization, you can put all that information in your charter so that the customer has that comfort level that your organization and you as a project manager know what you're dealing with. The roles and responsibility, again, the data conversion strategy. If you keep going down, again, it's a very intensive charter, but a good charter to see what can be out there as a formal sign-off between the customer and the project's organization, even in the initiation phase of the project, right? Some of the implementation strategies, the templates, also need to go out there at this point in time. So use this example as a very high-level example, may be relevant or may be irrelevant to your field of interest. However, like I've said, the content or the data, the words may be different. However, the project organization, if there's a placeholder for that, make sure the relevant information goes in there. The technical documentation, the generalized finances. So use the table of contents to create new charters or to put relevant information in there. Good luck with understanding and reading this particular charter and using that in your work experiences or for future projects that you may be working upon. You can omit some of those headers, the titles, but try to use most of it to create a relevant document which will be very useful and can be used as a template for future projects that you as a professional will be using later on. Good luck. And the next one will be the project proposal. I'll quickly go through that, again highlighting some of the important fields that are out there in a project proposal. The project proposal, along with the project charter, the project proposal also has a relevant placeholder in the market, and it's sometimes used again for the same purpose as a sign-off between the project organization and the customer to initiate the work activities. So what is a project proposal? A project proposal is written to make an offer and to try to convince a supervisor or a future customer to accept it. In a project proposal, you state that in exchange for time and or money, you will give them something that they want, make something they desire, or do something they wish to have done. This is the more important slide of them all. The core contents of a project proposal would be a title page, a cover letter, a summary, your description of the organization, statement of the problem and or need justification, your project objectives and goals, outline of proposed activities and methods, the amount requested or the budget that the customer is ready to provide to you, the duration, the outcomes and the outputs, and the evaluation plan. There is a big relevance between the core contents of this project proposal versus the core contents of the project charter that was given to you as an example. You have to create a liaison and create a template or a core content to be used for the example or for the industry that you are working on, or inshallah you will be pursuing on if you are currently unemployed and trying to use this degree as an education to pursue project management opportunities. We will go into a little bit detail of some of those core contents. Cover letter, obviously, the first thing the funder would read, must engage the reader. It has to be concise, precise. Bulleted information is always welcome. The project summary should be clear synopsis of the project. It should describe the organization. Statement of the problem, the project objectives. You should outline your proposed activities. Again, remember, there's a difference between a charter and a proposal. And right now, you're looking at outlining your proposed activities in a summary form, and you're also kind of indicating the amount that you are requesting. It's not that the customer is very clear and concise and about exactly this is what I need and this is exactly how much I'm ready to provide to you. Proposal is a little different in that aspect. So introduction, it describes or it gives you an opportunity as a project organization to provide description of the applicant. What is my vision, my vision, my strategic values, my team, short list of organization's achievements, who are your beneficiaries and partners, why do you apply to this funder? Okay. Start thinking of differences between a project charter and a project proposal. The needs and justification. What is the problem or need? Describe the problem in relation to your target group. Place the problem in a larger context your organization works in. Use figures and concrete examples. Relate it to the funder's guidelines and priorities. Whatever your objectives and goals are, your goals and objectives should be very SMART. SMART being specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. The methodology and activities. Always try to answer the question how I will do certain thing. Right place to give details and figures. Under this content, you can actually provide to some level of estimation, provide a level of estimation as to how much will I need from money perspective. Put activities in the time order. Give reasons why you selected this particular method. And last but not the least, be consistent with overall project goal, objectives, and the context. Make references to the previous use of the methodology by you and other organizations. The outcomes and the outputs. You have to know the difference, and you will relate the same difference and the same confidence in your project proposal. Outcome, long-term result and effect, which is very hard to measure. But the output, more of tangible, a very concrete result and a product, which is easily measurable. Provide both outcome and output in a clear manner. If you only give the outcome, there will be no value to the customer. If you only provide the output without the outcome in a social sector development area, then again, that will not have a lot of value. An evaluation plan, a strategy to measure the success. This is how I started, this is where I was, this is where I am, or this is where I'm planning on being. Before and after. Explanation of the criteria used to measure the success. Includes 3 things. And all these 3 things are important. It's the qualitative indicators, the contents, the quantitative indicators, which are numbers, and the vision of success, what you want to achieve. Then more importantly, the budget, the structure, the human resources, the purchases, the operational cost, the activities, clear budget items. How did you come up with the amount you indicated in the budget line? And then explanations to the budget in the end, why you need a particular amount, offers, etc. So your appendix would have all of this information in there. Think about it. This is the initial phase of it. Very clearly in your head. You have not been allocated a lot of resources. You have not spent a lot of time. But based on the time that you have spent, you have to have some kind of a work plan of how will you achieve your objective or how will you achieve your target. A work plan describes a project to be accomplished and outlines how it will be done. Again, understanding that how is not detailed enough, but a very high level at this point in time. It could be done in a, like a Gantt chart, very similar to that, very high level breakdown of activities from month, from January to October, highlighting some of the milestones in between, listing some activities, very high level activities. So as part of lecture 9, we started off in continuation of the previous lecture. We talked about the DVDs, the institutes, the organizations that are out there, all the material that is there, and then two important things. Part of the previous lectures we talked about the charter document. The charter document being the initial document, but offering a medium of understanding or an opportunity for the project organization and the customer to sign off on mutual understanding document. That is the charter. We gave you a template that was out there in the website that gives you an opportunity to understand what some of the typical very well written charters contain and use that as a template for creating maybe more concise, more precise, more relevant charter documents for yourself and for your organizations. Another example that was given to you was also the core contents for a project proposal that can always be enhanced, that can always be detailed or in lesser detail. However, the contents should be used to create a project proposal. The core contents should always be used for creating a good project proposal. With all that information, I wish you best reading material. I wish you good luck and continue to pursue reading up on relevant material, and I will see you next week inshallah with lecture number 10. Allah Hafiz. Goodbye.